Call an audible. Now, if you played sports, specifically football, you would know what an audible. If you don't play football, most likely you watch football and you've heard of an audible being called. If you haven't played or paid attention in football and don't know what audible is, you might have heard the word audible as reference to like Amazon's books. Or not what we're talking about today. We're talking about audibles, a call to change of play. Well, basically inside of football, right, you've got what's called an audible. An audible takes place on the line of scrimmage while the action is about to start happening on both the defense and the offensive sides of the ball, in which they're calling an audible to change the play to achieve the outcome. Now pay attention here, guys, this is very important. What they're doing is they have a set goal. The goal is to score a goal or to get yards. At the time of play, meaning they're on the line of scrimmage on either the defensive or offensive position, let's just say offensive because they're trying to score points in this case. They're trying to score points, right? They're trying to get yards, to either get a touchdown, to get a field goal, or to get close to either of them. Because of this, they have one objective, to move the ball forward. Now, with that being said, when they're on the line of scrimmage and they realize the defense knows what they're going to do, they call an audible. They don't continue to play the play that they were going to play. They call an audible. Now they call the audible because they still have the objective of scoring the points and beating the defense at what they're trying to accomplish. But because the defense knows that the game that they're also playing, they must switch it up. And to do so, they're on the line of scrimmage and they call an audible. And on the audible call, the whole team that's on the offensive side changes to a new play. That new play still has the same objective. Score yards, score a touchdown, get in field goal range. One of those three, right? So why are we talking about it? Because it's important to have audibles inside your own life. Too often we get stuck inside of our own actions, movements, and decisions, and we don't make audibles. What ends up happening is we end up playing the game of football. Again, I'm just going to stay back with this reference. We get to the line of scrimmage and we're playing offense, trying to score our points, trying to get in field goal range, trying to score yards. We get to the line of scrimmage to do one of those three things. But because the other team knows the game that we're playing, again, they know what we're trying to accomplish, and we don't call the audible, what ends up happening? We get pushed back. We get pushed back 3 to 4 yards. We think that we can play the same run again. So we get back up to the line of scrimmage. And guess what? The opposite team knows the drill. Instead of letting you do what you wanted to do, they continue to do what they know you're going to do. And they continue to push you back. And because you're unwilling to call the audible, meaning change the action you're taking to achieve the specific outcome you wanted, you continue to get further and further and further away from your goals. Now, this is important, guys, because audibles are not a bad thing. Calling an audible on a football field is not horrible. You can sit at a bar every Saturday during college games and every Sunday during NFL games, and you'll hear everybody in the crowd say, change your play, change that, don't do that. But the problem is they're not doing it in their own life. They're not calling audibles in their own life, making the changes that actually will get the ball to move forward instead of continuing to play the same run or same exact play over and over and over again, hoping to achieve a new outcome. So how do you call an audible inside of your own actions, results, outcomes, and goals? It's simple. You keep the goal the goal. Now, let's say I want to lose 10 pounds. If I want to lose 10 pounds, but I'm going to a child's birthday party, I'm going to have to call an audible on my nutrition, right? I'm not going to be able to follow my nutrition protocols the exact same. Because guess what? There's going to be children birthday food there, and that's delicious. And there's going to be cake, and there's going to be treats. There's going to be things that you want to try. Well, you have to call an audible. You cannot think that you're going to play the same play at a kid's birthday party in an environment that you are unsure of, which means defensive players that are going to come against you. You cannot play the same game you do get to play at your house, because the environment, the game, the players are all different. But the thing is if you understand that that might be something you're going to come up against, you have an audible. And that audible is the call that you make that says, hey, I'm going to allow this thing to happen. I'm going to go this way instead of this way, and I'm going to do this instead of this. Now, guess what? You might actually leave the event feeling better than you did coming into it, because now you've taken positive action. You've also made a positive audible that created forward momentum still, instead of getting beaten up by the defensive players because they already knew your play. So it's very simple, guys. Learn to call audible. Don't be afraid of calling audibles. They're not a bad thing. Audibles are a positive thing, especially when you keep the goal, whether it's to lose 10 pounds, put on 12 pounds of muscle, increase your strength, become more consistent, improve your nutrition, become track it daily, whatever it may be. Find what it is that you're playing for. What is the goal and thing that you're trying to accomplish? At that point, start writing out things that might jump in your way. What things might come up over the course of the next 30, 60, 90, 2 years if your goal needs to take that long? What might come up? In my case, I look at the whole quarter up to the whole year. I see events, I see holidays, I see vacation, I see all the things that might get in my way. And what I do around those things is I call Audible. I set action plays in play to go into them as what I think might work, but at the same time, I have 2 to 3 other Audibles that I can play from that same position to achieve the same goal. Because of this, I continue to always move forward and never get pushed back. Because the last thing you want to do is start creating momentum, not call an audible, and then get pushed 10 yards back on the field. Because it's a whole lot harder to gain those 10 yards than it is to call an audible that has a small change of play that still creates the forward momentum. So that's it, guys. Start calling audibles, start implementing that process into your action. Look at your goal, write out a map of how long it's going to take or where you want to achieve that by. Maybe it's your birthday next year. You want to achieve it by your birthday next year. Write out all the things that could get in your way. Maybe you don't actually have a tangible item that will get in your way. Maybe it's not a birthday that's coming up, but you know that you have 3 children in your family that you might end up at their birth. What would you do for a child's birth? That's your audible. You might not have any concerts lined up yet, but you know the things that happen at concerts and the foods that you are able to eat there. So maybe I make an audible play for my action of if I do go to a concert, right? It's summertime, so maybe you go onto a boat, but you don't go frequently enough to need to call that an audible play every day. But maybe you plan an audible for if you go on the boat, right? You have these audible calls that keep you in the game and keep you moving forward no matter what the defensive players are doing against you.